Fortnite frenzy is the real deal. The online shooter game now boasts more than 200 million registered users. 53% of those are aged 10 to 25. The average user spends 6 to 10 hours a week playing Fortnite, but almost 8% play the game for more than 21 hours a week. So, how do you know if your child is playing too much Fortnite? This morning, we're joined by tech expert Amber MacArthur. Amber, what did you think when you saw those numbers? I saw you kind of
I thought they were kind of low, to be honest with you, because I have a 10-year-old and he and his friends play pretty much all the time, especially in the summertime when they have more time off, or today during a snow day. So I thought they were a little bit low. And at the end of the day, I think this is really kind of a craze that has swept the nation, and so many Canadian kids are playing all the time.
So you have some tips for parents of Fortnite players to better understand their kids' habits. Your first is to understand the game itself.
Yeah, this is my #1 tip. I think a lot of parents tend to kind of overreact and think, oh, you know what, you shouldn't be playing that, it's bad, but they don't really understand the game. So my first tip is to understand how the game works. You go into the game, you battle up to 100 different players. So you're shooting them, but as you can see, there's no blood. It's more cartoon-like violence. So, you know, for some kids, it may not disturb them that much. For others, in fact, it could actually disturb them to the level that maybe it's just not the right game for them. So that's how you play. And I would also recommend that parents go in and actually play with their kids, see what it's like, and see if it's right for your child. This is not, you know, one size fits all for all children. You have to understand how it affects your kid.
Okay, your next tip for Fortnite parents is to manage your child's playing time. How do you do that?
I think a lot of parents feel really helpless that they can't manage how much screen time their child is using when they're playing Fortnite or doing something else. And I would just recommend to seek out those tools that do exist. On the Nintendo Switch is one example. They have a parental controls app that allows you to go in and actually control screen time. So you can pause access to Fortnite. You can quit access to Fortnite if you want to do that. And you can better manage how much time they're playing. Even routers, so that's the way you get Wi-Fi in your house, you can set them up to manage and actually pause the internet in the entire house. Now, your kid's going to freak out if you do this while they're playing Fortnite, so be careful how often you actually do this. But let's say at dinner time, you want to make sure from 6 to 7 p.m., no Fortnite, no other online activity. Having something like Google Wi-Fi where you can pause the internet for that hour is a really great idea for the whole family.
Yeah, not just for the kids, but also for parents too.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so tip #3 is to watch for warning signs. What kind of signs are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I think the signs that you'll see if your child is playing too much Fortnite include things such as isolation. They're also having outbursts. You know, they're angry, they're fighting, they're losing interest in activities that they used to love. This becomes a really big problem. I saw this with my own son, who's now 10 years old. He was playing Fortnite last summer for weeks and weeks on end, and it just wasn't the right game for him. He got very frustrated. He would fight with his friends. So every day I would say, how does Fortnite make you feel? And he was like, it makes me angry. I'm, you know, frustrated. So after a certain while, he actually deleted Fortnite from his device, and we became a no Fortnite home. Now, that was the right decision for our family. It's not right for everyone, but for us, that's what we had to do in order for him to be less frustrated.
And that tip's not just Fortnite specific. Like, that is screen time, I think, generally, overall. We hear that a lot from experts, right?
It is. You know, everybody wants me to come in and say, you know what, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, but it really, really depends on your child and if it's right for them.
Okay, so last one, beware the dreaded in-app purchases. For those unaware, what are those?
I just want to warn parents that even though Fortnite is free, there are in-app purchases that can lead to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in charges to buy things within the game. You can see here what that looks like.
That last one, $100.
I know, and just a reminder that last year, the makers of Fortnite actually made $3 billion in profits. Okay, that's not revenue, that's profits. So we know that people are going into the game, they're spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and for a lot of parents, that's just too much money. So set a limit for your child and understand that it is not free at all.
Amber, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.